Check 1, 2. Hey, good morning. Sorry, I almost didn't make it. It's not going to be a long live feed. I just kind of want to go over some hurricane strategies. I have a lot on my plate this morning. I made a video. It's uploading to the small channel, so make sure you subscribe to the Snorelord OG channel. Yeah, it's so let's bring up the weather. So one of the things that I do is, you know, working in logistics. I can't just call myself just a dispatcher. um, is I watch the weather and I keep an eye on things, right? So you got heat warnings here. That's what this is. But right here is the impact zone. What's the name of the hurricane here? I don't even remember the name of their hurricane. Idalia. So you have a hurricane warning today. Winds to 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 feet or less. So that's talking in the water there. Let's back that up here. So I believe it's supposed to hit around Tuesday. And then it's supposed to kind of track basically up. It'll cross over Florida. It'll cross over Tampa. And then kind of go right through the basically where I-10 is, and then cover Jacksonville, and then kind of go up 95 there. So the couple of different strategies with hurricanes is number one, if you can help not going in, that would be great. But there's a lot of disaster relief stuff. Now, it used to be back in the day that the FEMA stuff paid really well. You might be paid really well to sit with the trailer full of bottled water or things of that nature. Not so much anymore. The government was taking a beating on the pricing of that. And you'll have a lot of brokers that do a lot of FEMA loads that just kind of run it like regular freight. Now, the thing is you have to realize is that, let's say you're delivering in the panhandle of Florida. Let's say you're delivering Jacksonville today, or even Tampa. Let's say you're delivering Tampa today, or maybe Wednesday. Well, you might want to reschedule that. You might want to talk to someone because getting freight out is going to be a challenge. Now, a lot of us deadhead out of Florida, and I get that. But the other thing you have to factor, and I dealt with this myself personally, is the winds, right? Even if you're not in the direct path of the storm, the winds around that path, it's going to be pretty high. So, case in point, I did a video a couple of years back. There was in fact, I came up on my Facebook memories just a couple of days ago. But there was a load that was coming right up through Arkansas, and I had to go north on 65 to get away from the storm. I just I picked up a load there near Searcy, Arkansas, and then I headed north for as fast as I possibly could. And I was light. I was like 10,000 pounds. And man, that wind was blowing me around. And I wasn't even in the direct path of the hurricane or the tropical storm that was coming through. So keep that in mind. It's the high winds that become a problem. So the other issue that you have to worry about is when you're at the customer, they may not have power. So let's say you're delivering like Thursday. Maybe you got something scheduled to deliver Thursday. Well, they may not be able to unload you because they may not have power. So keep an eye on the weather. Now, the news and the weather love to inflate a story. So you need to try to find somebody that has boots on the ground that can tell you what's going on. The California hurricane is a perfect example of that. There was a lot of flooding in California. There were some areas that were bad, but it was nowhere near the level of devastation that they wanted you to believe it was. Understand that there are people that want to put out this bad weather narrative is our fault. It's just Mother Nature being Mother Nature. But just keep this in mind. um, that you're going to see. There's the path. So Tuesday at 1 a.m. it's going to be down here, and then it's going to go. It's going to go up. Wednesday morning it hits landfall. It's supposed to be a category 2 or 3 at that point. And then it'll come down to a category 1, and then it'll be a tropical storm area as it's going, so Savannah, all the ports are going to be affected there. So if you live in this area, we've got a driver that does nothing but this area. I put out an APB on our ELD, put out a message saying, hey, be aware of this. If you're down here, you might want to just hunker down and hope that you don't have to go north, or you go north now to get out of Florida and then maybe run the Midwest for a minute or two until it all settles down. So just keep in mind. Now, the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that you'll have a broker that will post a load. Hey, I've got this load going to Tampa, paying $4,000, $5,000. You're gonna be like, holy hell, man, I just had a home run. Yeah. Well, guess what? Pay attention to the weather. There's a reason why that rate is so high, because they know that this is coming. They just want it off their board. They're putting some money on it. I've personally dealt with that with some brokers. So I had a friend of mine that called me. He goes, man, I got this really great. He was new to the spot market. He goes, man, I got this really good rate going to Florida. I was like, realize there's a hurricane, right? That's why you got $5,000. Oh, okay. And he canceled the load. The broker wasn't even mad, right? Let's see. I was afraid of this. Oh, no, we're not too bad. All right. So, anyways, it's so just be aware if you're delivering inside Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, you might have some issues. Now, it won't be till later this week that it'll be up in the upper part of the southeast, but just know that if you're along this line, let's see if I can zoom in here. If you're along this line here, the west coast of Florida, you're in for a tough time. So just if you can get the heck out, I think we've got a couple of drivers in the area. We've got 2 or 3 actually, and I know that Shannon is heading out there. So I don't know if she was talking about that last night or not, but just be careful. Just be careful. So let's look at the comments here, and then probably not going to do too much. I'm going to show you the hot market maps, maybe some load ratios, and that's it, because I got work to do. WCF Invader, good morning. Old school, new school, present. Don has another channel, Trucking with Liberty, and he did a video with that guy that has a viral song, Richmond, north of Richmond, right? Is that Rich? Yeah. And is that right? So I'm a metal guy, so I've noticed that the guy's gone viral, and I watched a funny video where he was like, yeah, the GOP convention, they were like, or a convention or whatever, the debate, they're all using my song, and guess what? That song's about them as well. So kind of funny. Politics is funny. Old school, new school, present. Desert Okie Pam, good morning. My name is Nobody, good morning. Yo, Steve, and everybody from Kansas City, cheers. Excellent. Hope our plan goes well. CDN, good morning. The storm is going to explode into a beach. Y'all get the F out of the West Florida by Tuesday night. Yes, get out by Tuesday night. So if Shannon is listening, then she might, she can call if she has any issues. Pigtail, what's up? What is your big picture idea to enhance your business and relationships this week? Big picture idea. That's a great question. I don't know. I'm in survival mode right now, CDN. I've got like I did yeah. So CDN's challenging me, and that's great. That's good. My big picture is just to keep doing what I'm doing, um, developing relationships. I have a potential. Well, I can't really say what I have potential because I need to keep that private. But I have some potential things happening that are developed through the relationships that I've developed. Relationships has been pretty important, and hopefully they will pay off today. That's not just talking about brokered freight. That's talking about brokering freight as well. I have something in the works that could possibly be a really big deal. Um, and the dispatch is going well. And yeah, so I've done we've the the company is doing well. We're starting to have to make some shifts, some changes. We've got an orientation checklist that I go over now, and we've orientated a couple of new drivers. I did one just last night. Um, so we are we're just moving forward. We're kicking it up a gear. And I could tell you more about it later, CDN. What exactly I got going on, but can I handle it? We'll find out. So that's the thing. CB says landfall Wednesday morning. Now, let me go back to CDN. This is a picture. This is a comment for everybody, not just for me. This is truth right here. This is somebody that knows what business partnerships can do for them. Also, yeah. Sorry, I've got my mind's going 100 miles an hour here. Just wait, government's going to turn the hurricane to a political point. They always do, and the ones that do, shame on them. Like we won't even get to. We went to a Maui benefit yesterday. I won't even get into that. If that doesn't show you the hypocrisy of things, then I don't know what will. SST, what's up? DIY semi, we need rain here badly. Well, the storm's going the wrong direction for you, my friend. I got home in the South Georgia this past Friday. I'm now up in the mountains visiting family. Good deal. I'm there vacationing until Thursday. That's going to be interesting. Steve, since 2 weeks ago, Facebook and Instagram blocked all Canadian media from posting news links. Wow. Not sure if the same in USA. Certainly changed as I no longer get instant news updates. Wow. Dude, that's total. Oh my gosh. No, it's not that way. We have freedom of speech here. CDN. That's crazy. Wow. Interesting. Like even email? Well, yeah, you can get like I suggest look, there's a website called let's see if I can find this here. $14.40 Daily Digest. It's basically just headlines. No, just facts, no motives, no narratives, just headlines. So that'll get you your news. Jose, good morning from Loveland, Colorado. So you're pretty far away from the hurricane. Good on you. I would say document your procedures and processes for future training. That is a big picture concept to consider. That's absolutely true. I often think what would happen if I had a car accident today? How many people would be screwed right now? We would need to train. And Ryan Mickler talks about training people. If you have if you're afraid of being replaced, then you're not doing it right. So, yes, it's Richmond, north of Richmond. It's a very non-political song. It's a song from the everyday man. Yes, no, I get it. But the politicians are trying to make it political, and and he's like, I remember he's in his truck or his tractor, and he's like, yeah, I'm talking about all these guys that are using my song to try to rally up the troops. That's not what it's for. So Florida's going to get hit by a hurricane like it has for the last thousands of years. I like how they're conditioning Floridas to not prepare for them or expect them. I don't think it's that way at all. I think that if you go to the store right now, people are preparing. I have a sister that lives in Florida, so they there's no narrative that not to not prepare. What are you talking about? Dreamer Seat, what's up? SST become ungovernable. Retired trucker, good morning. I still need to have a conversation with you, Pale Rider. CDN is living in a land of socialist monarchy up there. Yeah. The issue was money. The Canadian media outlets are creating shorts and links without paying. All I have to do is visit the media sites I want. There you go. Good deal. At least you still get news, right? But sometimes, I talk to quite a few people that are being fearful right now because of what the news reports, and it's affecting their lives. Think about this, and Ryan Mickler talked about this, so it's not an original idea, but I want you to think about this. If you have the guy that gets he does, he goes into major debt and has to work extra hard to, create the bunker for the family, for the whatever's coming kind of stuff, and he buys a ton of, prepper food and buys a ton of of stuff to help him with crap hits the fan moments, and but he ends up putting himself in debt and working himself to where his family disowns him, you know. So what's he going to do? Sit in the bunker with no family, but you survived. You're a survivor, right? Survival, you know, rather just die. Die with your family, you know. Die having family, right? Don't push everybody out because you've become um, afraid of the world. You know what I mean? And I think that's a lot more common now since the vid, because of, all we have to do is just sit here at our computers and read the news and watch the videos and the TikToks and the YouTube shorts and the Instagram and Facebook reels that are telling you that the world's about to end. Here's how you make a fire. Here's how you save on ammo. Here's how you can foods, which those are skills you should already have. Meanwhile, people in Florida, they deal with no power and no resources all the time after a hurricane. But there's a balance, right? You gotta prepare but not be paranoid. You gotta be aware but not afraid of the future. You got to keep going like things aren't changing. You got to adapt to the changes that are coming. And you should always have water and canned goods, and you should always have a source of power that doesn't come from the grid. Farmers been doing it for years. So I mean, it's we are meant to survive, right? And unfortunately, there's things in place that keep us from being the true people that we really need to be. So there's my soapbox moment. Jackknife, nobody took Michael or Ian seriously. These storms leveled the coast and killed a bunch of folks. We always prepare for these things. We buy water, canned goods, and beer. um, well, okay, so Jackknife says that's why they're not just taking them seriously. They used to, like in the early '90s, and then when there's a bunch of destruction, they blame it on climate change. No, the media blames it on climate change. Here's the thing: I live in the land of tornadoes. Okay, we live in the land of tornadoes. We hear tornado sirens all the time. You know, I remember the first time when I moved here from Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, we never saw a tornado warning ever. Well, I take it back. There was one, and I was scared because you just read about tornadoes. You don't know what, and you see like fictional depictions, like that movie Twister. Horrible movie, right? So so one of the first nights that we spent in Springfield, there was a tornado warning, and the news is saying, "Don't go outside, don't go look at it. It's moving this and this." This is like, mind you, this is like 35 years ago, so we didn't have all the up to date radar, right? And so what did we all do? We all went outside to look to see if we can find it. The whole street. And I was like, and my dad was calm. He was a meteorologist for the Marines. And he was calm. So I was like, okay. Now, if he was freaking out, I would have been freaking out. So it's good to have a calm mind, but we've become complacent to tornadoes. So when the big Joplin tornado hit a few years ago, I think it was like 10 or so years ago, it was just another day for a lot of people because they just, another tornado warning, not realizing it was an F5 that was literally going through the middle of town, taking out the local hospital. I have several friends that lost homes in that tornado. And I guarantee you, but that complacency comes from hearing it all the time, seeing it all the time. So it's not a government conspiracy. It's just that when you go through it all the time, you're like, and then how many times have they built up the storm to be something, then it's not? And a lot of people can't afford to prepare. They can't go out and buy 10 cases of water and a generator. They can't afford that. So they do what they can. They evacuate, and then traffic becomes stupid. But it's complacency that does that. Where does that complacency come from? It's not coming from the government. It's coming from just dealing with it all the time. So my customer that forced everyone to rebid freight in June put everything up for bid again. The brokers they gave the freight to have dropped the ball so badly they were going back to asset carriers. Yeah, a lot of changes. Should be able to get the rates back up. Good deal. Even shippers have hard lessons to learn by focusing on price. Yes. Absolutely. Cassius King is in the house. Thank you for joining. Eddie, what's up? Good talk to you the other day. We can feed them, dress them, send them to school. Doesn't mean they'll learn anything, even if we keep trying, right? But keep trying. Keep talking. That was some good advice that a friend of mine gave me. Keep talking. They'll eventually get it. Hurricane parties. Climate change is real, but I don't think humans caused it. Well, that's a debate for another day. I agree with that, Lance. We only had radio and air raid sirens back in the 70s. I was working in Savannah back when Michael hit. We'd play the take a shot every time they said hunker down game. Greg Zimmer, good morning. Seriously, we prepared for this in March. The local media informs people to be prepared with all kinds of information, but some people don't do it. That's on them, right? When my kids were younger, I didn't do much of my own car maintenance. Now my kids have vehicles. I do oil changes, rotate winter, summer tires. I bought a diagnostic tool which helps check codes. Those are good things. Those are great things, CDN. There was a tornado went through Jeff City 5 or so years ago. I remember that. Literally went through the backyard of my dad's house. Only time I've ever heard a tornado emergency issued. Mr. Charles, good morning. Yeah. So anyways, we'll do the hot market map real quick and then I gotta go. Let me get 1, 2, 3 up here. So obviously rates are gonna fluctuate with what's going on in Florida. So just be aware of that. If you see a really, 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 I mean, it's sometimes it's hard to spot the good rates going into Florida, but if you see a really if it's like $4 a mile for 1,000 miles, just be aware of where it's delivering, right? And that will happen. I will see that. And then there are other people that will be like, yeah, I'm paying $1.60 to go into Jacksonville. And you're like, you realize there's going to be a hurricane and I'm going to have trouble getting out. Because here's the thing with that path of the hurricane, going north to Savannah ain't going to help you. You're going to be right in the thick of it. So more like, and Alabama is a dead zone when it comes to freight. So just be aware of that. You're probably going to have to go to northern Georgia or even Tennessee to grab freight, which is going to soften the market in Tennessee. So that's just my opinion. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Just be aware of that. Anyways, here's your van. Satisfying when I do things correctly. I feel useless when I can't do it, so I soak my hands in grease and oil to look like I'm working hard. That's a good strategy. So this is for van. A lot of the South is very soft right now. It's been easier to get a truck out of Missouri that lives in Arkansas here lately. So California is still showing pretty warm. Texas also, but just be aware that they're not paying to go in and out of Texas. I don't know what's going on in Texas. You might catch a good rate or two out of Laredo, but it's probably going to another dead area. So just be aware of that. Let's look at reefer. A lot of yellow through here. Washington was green. Let's see, a lot, and this could just be the brokers that are posting. Let's take a look at Colorado, what's coming out of here. Now, this is the other thing. So football season is almost upon us. NFL, college, and that's a huge, huge revenue for the Carbolicious drinks, the beer, the snack stuff. So if you've got Frito-Lay in your pocket, like Schneider guys do, expect an uptick of that. If you're refrigerated, expect an uptick of frozen foods, such as the snack foods and stuff like that. Like poppers and cheese sticks and crap like that. So just be aware that this is we're swinging into snack season right now, and then the raw materials for that, the packaging, the potatoes, the the onions, the all the stuff that is required. If you're a tanker, you're probably doing a lot of molasses right now. That kind of thing. So just be aware that we are going into snack season. So I do expect an uptick in some volumes. Will it equate to good rates? Well, it just depends. If you hold the line, you'll probably get your rate. So that's just my opinion. Again, like here, Greeley, Colorado to Florence, Kentucky for $1.78. That's actually pretty good coming out of Florida. So, I know it's reefer, $2,200. Cargo Chief's got about $23.14. So not quite $2 a mile. That's not bad out of Colorado. Sort this by highest rate per mile. $5,500 to go from Denver to Scranton, PA. $325 a mile. Let's see what's going on with this one. 10,000 pounds. It's very interesting. I wonder what's going on. There's something different with this load. So I'm going to guess it's probably multiple stops or hazmat. They're paying big money going out to the Northeast there. Wow. $212 a mile to come out of Denver to go to Connecticut, Gordonsville. Here we go, Denver to Gordonsville. This is one I would do. $203 a mile, $32.50. Maybe get a couple of bucks more. Let's see if we got some toll costs. About 38 bucks in tolls. So after your percentage of 20%, you're probably profiting about 89 cents a mile, so 14.27. So, and then the inbound, what's the highest paying thing coming in? $380 a mile, $1,500 to go from Utah to Grand Junction. That's always a good lane, van or reefer. St. Joseph, Missouri to Aurora. That's Kansas City. Let's take a look at that one. Picks up tomorrow, delivers Wednesday. Says refrigerated food. Aurora, that I don't think it's Pueblo, that's Target, right? So just keep an eye on that. Idaho to Denver, paying 318. Let's do the highest rate if you're a long haul guy or gal. 280 a mile to go from Salinas, California to Denver. Washington, Aurora, paying $3,400, 240 a mile. Massachusetts to Aurora, 165 a mile, $3,400. Niagara Falls to Denver, that's kind of low for that lane. I usually get a little bit. I usually get that for van. So for reefer, that's kind of low. Yeah. Body armor, water, so van or reefer, that's why. So just keep that in mind. So in Canada, if there's a major weather event, we get a loud message on our phones and radio. If you're in public, everyone's phones start going off. We have that too. Yeah, last Hurricane Ian, the rates were definitely not where they usually are when there's a disastrous hurricane that hits Florida. Yeah, look, Hurricane Katrina taught a lot of people a lot of lessons. I remember guys were making $1,000 a day just to sit in a parking lot with a trailer full of water, or a trailer full of food, or a trailer full of building supplies. And they found out that that was expensive to do it that way. So what we do is, with the forecasting technology we have now, what we do is we preload these warehouses and then let the local trucks do the deliveries when they can get in and out. So that's kind of they changed the system because people were making bank and it was costing the government a lot of money. So that's FEMA loads, man. If you had a FEMA broker, man, you can make some money, but not anymore. They just treat it like everyday freight. I remember when all the midwits new to Florida would duct tape the glass on their windows in preparation for storms, and then leave it on the windows for years after. Yeah, we're all struggling, right? We're all dealing with issues, right? So let's look at flatbed. Just like the people that say, okay, if you think you're going to get hit by a tornado, open all the windows. You know how many people have died trying to open all their windows when they should have been sheltering? All right, there's your flatbed. Northwest is lit up. Southeast is lit up. Usual suspects. Missouri's red, so that's interesting. Washington, let's take a look. Let's see. Highest rate coming out of Washington is to Texas, $1.85 a mile. See, that's what I'm talking about. They're not paying to go into Texas. $1.80, $1.59. These look like van rates. $2.39 to go to New Mexico, but good luck getting out of New Mexico. $2.08 to go to El Paso. That's where you're going to end up if you go to Albuquerque. Man, they're just not paying. Now let's do the highest per mile. $5.91 a mile, but it's $325 for 55 miles. Wow. Here we go. 2004 for $4 a mile. Go from Washington to Boise. Look how many stops it is though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stops. That's why it's above the average. Granite slabs, 47.5 on the weight. So it looks like the best paying lane per mile is going into Idaho. And the best paying lane overall rate is going into Texas, even though the rate per mile sucks going into Texas. So that's your flatbed. Did I finally get the check? Yes, we did. There was some damage to the roof, so we've got an insurance adjuster coming by, and then the guys that pulled the tree off, they're supposed to come by and help patch the roof up real quick so we don't get rained on. But that has not happened yet. We owe them like a bunch of money, and they have not come by to get the check. So I'm not sure what's happening with that company, but yeah, the tree's been cleared. We cleared that tree, and then we also cleared some potential branches that could come down over the back of the house, which I kind of show that in the video I'm uploading to the small channel, Snorelord OG. Make sure you subscribe to that. And so we're probably due for a new roof anyways, but we'll see what the insurance company says. So CDN says there could be a small rate increase Tuesday to Thursday before September long weekend. Next week rates will be low. That's a great forecast, so we're going to hold you to that. We'll see what happens. So, anyways, guys, 48065 if you are interested in the 123 low board. It is one of many tools that you can use to navigate the spot market. I like the tools. I use the tools. Among the other low boards that I do use, 123, I love it. So I'm not just saying that because they pay me to say that. I'm saying that because I actually do use it. These tools are great. The toll calculation is great. And then, as you can see, I have some notifications for a load that I was looking for. So, so it's a great resource to add to your already hopefully powerful arsenal to navigate the spot market. So there you go. So with that being said, thanks for watching again. I apologize for this being a short video, but I got work to do, and it's going to be a pretty intense day, I believe. So, but I wanted to get on here, talk about the hurricane. Just be aware. Here's the forecast one last time. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, it's going to hit landfall there on the west coast of Florida, and the wind surrounding the whole area is going to be pretty intense for a truck, especially if you're light. And then it's going to run up right up from Jacksonville up 95 around the coast, so your coastal like Savannah and all that will be affected by that. So just be aware. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit the like button. If please subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. So, and let's see. I'm saying a lot, which is very annoying. I hate that. But I'm not coordinated enough to do this awesomely. So I need a producer. That's what I need. No, I don't. I don't need anything. All I need is for you guys to like and subscribe and to hit the thumbs up. With that being said, thanks for watching. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns to screw. Be smart. Peace.